I'm going to talk about gas mileage in the 2014 Cadillac ELR as compared to conventional automobiles. Now, the ELR is not a conventional automobile. The ELR is an EREV, that is extended range electric vehicle. The reason it's called extended range electric vehicle is because once the car is removed from the power supply where I have it charging, which is in my garage there, once I remove it, once I unplug it from the 120 volt outlet, whatever range the car has based on the current state of charge of the power supply, the onboard engine or generator will kick in to extend the range when necessary. So the only time that the ELR will leave me hanging, so to speak, is if I should forget to put gasoline in it. Now that's nothing new compared. Forgetting to or needing to have gasoline put into it is nothing new for any automobile that we have on the road. The biggest thing about the ELR is good for today and tomorrow. It's good for now, the infrastructure that we have in the country right now, and it's good for the infrastructure once this country has an infrastructure that will support plug-in vehicles. The ELR will still be able to be plugged in and will use just that much gasoline once plug-ins become more readily available to the public. Hopefully municipalities and companies can figure out how they can make some money by supporting electric vehicles. My gut feeling is that's why it's not as popular as it should be. I think a lot of organizations spend more money trying to tell people how green they are or how green they want to be, when in fact they will not support electric vehicles until they can figure out how they're going to make money from it. But anyway, back specifically to the ELR. The ELR does not waste any. The ELR is probably the most efficient automobile on the road in that it doesn't waste any energy. That is, if it does waste any energy, it wastes very, very little as compared to a conventionally powered automobile. Now, speaking of conventionally powered automobiles, I see ads about cars that boast 30 miles per gallon or 35 miles per gallon, and that ain't shit. Not compared to many other automobiles. For example, when I was a member of the Queen City Corvette Club, there were plenty of members that would get 30 miles per gallon in a Corvette. Okay? Now, I had a C6 Corvette, and I was getting 28 miles per gallon in a Corvette at 70 miles per hour. That's real world. That's not EPA estimates. That's not a sales pitch at all. Now, speaking of real world facts, I'm going to tell you exactly what my ELR reports to me that I am currently getting. I'm currently getting 66 miles per gallon, the equivalent of 66 miles per gallon. Now, most of that is from my car running off of electricity. Okay, not from electricity that's generated by the onboard engine either. Most of that electricity was gotten from being plugged into an electrical outlet. So I'm getting the equivalent of 66 miles per gallon combined city and highway in my 2014 Cadillac ELR. Now, as far as being energy efficient goes, if I'm sitting at a stoplight in my ELR and the engine should happen to be running, which most of the times it's not, if I'm sitting at a stop sign and the engine should happen to be running, or whatever I'm stopped and the engine should happen to be running, the engine runs, first of all, let me tell you, to generate electricity when the power supplies need replenishment. Okay, now the engine does not turn a drive shaft as in conventionally powered automobiles. The engine charges the power supplies. So whether I'm moving or not and the engine is running, then the power supplies are still being charged to some extent, and the computer controls that. I can monitor the status of where the power from the generator or the engine is going by looking at the onboard LED readout. It will tell me if the power from the engine is going to the batteries or if the power is being used to propel the car. So if for getting back to my situation, if my car is stopped and my engine or generator happens to be running, then the computer will automatically, if it determines it can do that, it will automatically send power to the onboard power supplies or batteries as needed. And once I start to move, once I step on the accelerator, the computer will know that it needs to port more electricity over to the propulsion system, and it will do so automatically. So, as compared to conventionally powered automobiles, when the ELR is sitting still, and if the engine should happen to be running, you're not wasting gas just to be wasting gas, just waiting to go somewhere. Okay, there's no hydraulic system in the transmission, in the transmission for this vehicle. In conventional automobiles, you're still using gasoline, and the engine is constantly trying to push the car forward. Not so in the ELR. The ELR will go forward when you release the brake and you press on the accelerator. That does not increase the fuel flow. What that increases is the flow of electricity to the electric drive motors. The faster you go in the ELR does not mean that there's more fuel flowing from an engine, or from a gasoline engine, because most of the time when the ELR is on the road, it's using only electricity. The engineers at GM and Cadillac were good enough to design the ELR so that, well, just like most electric generators, first I'll say, just like most electric generators, it is designed to run at one constant speed to generate electricity. Okay, there's governors, there's speed regulators, or voltage regulators and speed governors to maintain a constant speed of the engine. The design speed. The engine is designed to run at a particular speed in order to generate electricity, period. So the faster you go, the more you accelerate. You do not change the flow of fuel into the engine at all. Now, the engine does have regulators to maintain a constant speed, and the fuel may need to vary to a small degree in order to maintain that constant speed. Because after all, when you're asking the generator to generate more electricity, you are in fact putting a small load on the engine. So the Cadillac ELR is, while it's a luxury brand, and, well, let me back up. So the Cadillac ELR, while being a luxury brand, is one of, if not the most fuel efficient vehicles on the American road today.